Hi, everybody. It's Matt from Discover College Soccer. I hope you're enjoying the podcast, whether that's on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I also wanted to let you know about the Discover College Soccer Study Table. This is our brand new online portal that is complete with a 14-part online course giving you all of the ins and outs of the college soccer recruiting process. There's also a wealth of resources such as checklists, templates. There's the spreadsheets that have every soccer program in the country, along with their coaches, their contact information, their social media information, some basic stats about the school, and more. Plus, there's an online community where you can ask your questions, share your wins, your losses, any questions that you may have around the college soccer recruiting process. It's all there at the Discover College Soccer study table that you can find at discovercollegesoccer.com/study table, and hopefully we will see you there. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Discover College Soccer. Today, I'm lucky enough to be joined by Coach Ryan from Montreat. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Well, let's just jump right in. I guess you got a good background going from being the GA to now the assistant coach, so congratulations.
Thank you.
But let's first start off talking about recruiting. You and I are talking here beginning of June, just a couple weeks from that famed June 15th date that kids are always hoping they get phone calls. Although for you guys, you don't have to worry about that, those rules. So that must be nice. But can you give me just an idea of the rough recruiting calendar you guys follow? So we're here in June. Um, how deep are you into your 24 class? Are you talking to 25, 26s? What all does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, like most of the other coaches as well, recruiting is pretty much year round. So we currently still have a few roster spots available for 2023s. So to any of the listeners out there, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to have a conversation. As far as 2024s go, yeah, we currently have a few guys lined up already. If they're already lined up at this point, that kind of means they've been on top of things on their end, and so we're really excited about those prospects that are looking at joining us next season. Obviously, we wait until after the FAFSA opens up. That kind of helps gauge a little bit more what type of financial package we could offer them. As far as beyond that, I actually had a meeting this morning, was going to meet with a 2026 kid. Obviously, with those conversations, it's mostly just, planting seeds, hopefully answering questions for them, and establishing a relationship. So yeah, as of right now, 2023, we're still grinding. We've got a few showcases coming up for the summer. So we're just gonna keep knocking on doors, and hopefully the right guys will join us next season.
Okay. Well, when it comes to your recruiting, how much of it is folks reaching out to you guys saying, "Hey, I'm interested in Montreat," versus how much of it is you guys just, you know, looking at different recruiting websites or talking to coaches or going to events or that outbound kind of recruiting?
Yeah, definitely. And I'll preface everything by just saying, this is just my second year in collegiate coaching, so I'm no expert. You've had some great coaches on here that have much more experience. So, in my experience, though, in the last couple of years, we've had a lot of success. Of course, if the guys reach out to you, it just kind of we're recruiting, thousands of kids, and so the kids that actually reach out to us, formulate a good email and are interested in our school specifically, that definitely takes precedence, I'd say. As to maybe putting a percentage on it, I'd say a lot of our guys come through like national recruiting websites and stuff, like NCSA, field level, huddles on there. We see guys, player profiles on there, national scouting report. So there's a lot of success that we've had with that, and sometimes it is just reaching out to them and seeing, hey, are you interested? We saw your video, we saw your GPA, things like that. And then of course, the in-person recruiting events as well. It's always nice to see them play kind of with their high school team, and maybe get a chance to talk to them there. So yeah, I'd say it's a pretty even mixture across the board.
You just mentioned high school team. Are you guys looking, d- I mean, do you go to high school soccer games specifically, or is it usually it's because you're going to see a player you've kind of already been talking to and already have a feel for, you just want to see him in a different environment? What's that balance between club and high school for you guys?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I think the high school games I've gone to normally have been with kids that I've already been in communication with. They'll send me a schedule or something, and it kind of, we already have an established connection there. I haven't gone to just a random high school game. It's definitely on the agenda. I think there's always some diamonds in the rough you can find late in the season as well. Um, but yeah, I'd say, mostly if there's already talks with the kids, then we'll definitely make it a priority to go see them. Uh, Speak with their coaches. Of course, that's a really important one. They have a unique. I think you had a coach on there say they have a unique ear for their players, and so it definitely kind of helps give us a little bit more insight into the right guys we're bringing in, things like that. So.
Okay. Well, in terms of events that you guys go to, I mean, are you more of a, would you say, kind of local recruiting base, regional recruiting base, or national recruiting base? What kind of events? What are some of the hit or, ones that you got to hit every year?
Yeah, yeah, great question. So I'd say honestly, local and regional are kind of more in the vein for Montreat College. Um, the furthest I've personally gone has been Virginia and Jacksonville, Florida. So within maybe an 8 hour time frame, but that's not a regular thing. So some of the showcases that we hit, there's one coming up in Atlanta. You probably heard of them, Future 500 ID camps.
Hmm.
Um, for the coaches that don't know about them, it's fantastic. They do a really great job putting these events together. Give you player profiles, send you player videos. So that's definitely one we want to hit, because you get guys coming in from all over the country. Um, at Montreat, we have a unique pool of internationals, and so of course we speak with agents, overseas and stuff. But we don't really make the trip out there. At least I haven't. And then, some of the other, obviously Jefferson Cup. I kind of have a list here. There's any tournament like ECNL tournaments that were brought to our attention. Of course, the Raleigh Showcase is awesome. There's a few on here, Capital Fall Classic in Richmond. There's usually there's tournaments, especially during the fall, during the spring. I mean, pretty regularly on the weekends. So we try to make it a point to go to that. I'd say the majority of our guys have been through the online reaching out. Um, of course we've had some great guys come through, meeting in person, but yeah, I'd say mostly it's we've had a lot of success with online databases. So
Okay. Well, when you're looking at all of those things, right, and you're making your decisions, who do we want, maybe who don't we want? What is that hierarchy of things that you guys are looking for in a player, whether that's on the field stuff or off the field stuff?
yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And there's probably not much more I can contribute than what some of the other coaches have already said on your podcast, which is just so awesome. Of course, character is essential. You can have a really good soccer player, but if they don't have strong character, strong moral values, moral compass, I think you could run into some trouble with building the right type of culture that you want to have. And as a former player, having coaches that were intentional about that, I've seen it firsthand. So of course, character. Um, we're in a unique position at Montreat where we have a first team and a reserve team, and so we are willing to, if somebody is interested, if they're interested in our school and the academic programs that we offer. Um, if maybe they have not had so much success with D1, D2, D3, and they're interested in playing collegiate ball, um, we're definitely open to having a conversation with them. So ideally, our roster between our first team and our second team is over 50 guys, and so it allows us the opportunity to reach out to a wide array of talent and things like that. So if it was just one team, I think it'd be a little bit different, specific recruiting. But at this point, it's we kind of cast a wide net. For the guys that are interested in us, of course, that sets them apart even more. Of course, when we look at their soccer ability, do they have a good touch on the ball? The basics, doing the fundamentals correctly. Do they work hard? I will tell you, and for any players that listen to this, you can tell a lot about someone's character by, when you get a bad call by a referee or your teammate makes a bad pass. Are you pointing a finger at your teammate? Are you, what's your body language out there? Are you cursing out the referee? Those aren't the right caliber guys that we're looking to bring in, and we'll actually scratch them off our list. It just is something that, it's a simple thing, but it's something that we're always looking at. Of course, doing the things right, soccer IQ, reading the play, things like that. Many of the other coaches on here have kind of hit all those bases. So yeah, I mean, that's why it's also important to have a conversation with them, to kind of gauge, who they are as a person, kind of get a feel for their energy, talk to their coach as well. Are they coachable? What type of person are they? Things like that. So, and then of course, academically, good GPA speaks for itself. So we have, of course, we consider that as well. So kind of a broad answer there, but.
No, it makes sense. Well, one of the things I noticed on your guys' roster is a few international players too. So how does the international recruiting work? And you guys, are you looking at the transfer portal at all? Do you guys have people coming in? What does that look like for your recruiting?
Yeah, I mean, as far as international guys go, as of right now, we're pretty full on the international scholarship guys that we have. It's obviously we're in June, so we're kind of approaching, fall coming up, and so we've already been in talks and signed a lot of the international guys. And kind of the way that works, it might range from maybe they are a transfer. We just signed a kid, a Serbian kid from a school in another NAIA school, and he's a transfer as well. So as far as the transfer portal, I've heard a lot of coaches, and that's kind of been in the main talks here recently. I'm still unfamiliar with the ins and outs of the transfer portal, but we're always open to kids if they want to transfer, if they're interested in joining us at Montreat. Of course, there's certain requirements, GPA, things like that, but we're definitely open to that. And then, of course, the speaking with agents, there's so many international recruiting agencies out there, from Spain, South America, Germany. I mean, it's a wide range of all over the world, and so we've been fortunate to have good connections with guys internationally as well. But we love having the international guys. Of course, recruiting wise, I think it's a little easier to recruit some local kids. They can get federal aid, in-state tuition discount, things like that. So but yeah, we have a good mixture of guys, really awesome culture here. So
Okay. Well, let's shift gears, talk a little bit more about the school. I'm sure there's some folks not familiar with Montreat there in North Carolina. Just drove through North Carolina this just 2 days ago between Florida and DC on my travels. But you've been there a couple years. Kind of give me your thoughts. What makes the school just a great place that you enjoy? What what are some things we may not know about the school just from clicking through the website?
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. I'll tell you, I have been so blessed and privileged to be at Montreat. I mean, it's if you were fortunate enough to come through Asheville area, that's about where we're at. Asheville, we're in the Smoky Mountains here, and so currently Montreat is about 20 minutes. Our camp is about 25 minutes north of Asheville, about 2 hours from Charlotte, about I'd say 3.5, 4 hours from Raleigh. But really beautiful part of the country. Um, and as far as our school, our community, and things like that, it's a smaller college. We have about 1,000 students, which I, I I like. I went to a small college as a player, but also as a coach. You know, you really get a feel for the community. The community is really connected with Montreat as well, and so you can ask anybody. Pull somebody aside on campus. What's your favorite thing about Montreat? Guaranteeing the top three answers is going to be community here. So the community has been wonderful. Some things that maybe people don't know about Montreat. Obviously, we're a Christian liberal arts college, and so you don't have to have a faith background to come to Montreat. Many of our guys don't, which is wonderful. We love everybody, and we want to bring them in and accomplish something together, no matter your background. But we just ask that our players, adhere to the morals set by our college. Obviously, I tell people if they're looking for a party school, Montreat's probably not the right place for them. But in addition to that, we offer a wide range of majors. We host the best cybersecurity program in the country. So we actually have a partnership with the National Security Agency. So we've had guys go on and get solid jobs doing cybersecurity and things like that after they leave us. So that's pretty cool. Of course, if you're familiar with Billy Graham, the great evangelist of the 20th century, he raised his family about 5 minutes from campus here. Got married in the chapel that we all worship in, and so it's a really great history here of Montreat, North Carolina, but the community of people, of course, the climate, and the culture is just wonderful. So
Okay. Well, in terms of the academic side and the athletic side, how do your players really make sure they're balancing those two things? And what kind of support systems does a school offer to help them with that?
yeah, that's an important question too. And I think for parents as well, future players and parents, they want to know, ultimately you're here, you're a student before you're an athlete, and so that's why you come to college, to get an education. And so yeah, specifically with Montreat, we're really intentional from the start on, and we have our guys sign a agreed upon contract. So everything is on the table. There's no surprises as to if their GPA starts dropping. Um, you know, we have um, we have team study hall twice a week for 1 hour at a time. All underclassmen and anybody with, I think, below a 3.0 is mandatory attendance there. It's just so another layer of another safeguard for them. We are and especially our head coach, Coach Bruce, is in constant communication with the professors and things like that. So we are very aware if our guys aren't going to class, if they, if academically, if they're struggling with certain things. As far as resources go, we have a great academic support center. I think pretty much every college has something of that to that effect, but it's just another resource for our guys. I know as a player, I was in the writing center. I mean, almost every day they knew me as a regular there. So it just helps having that. Especially kind of balancing your academics and athletics. It's just good having those extra resources available. So,
Do me a favor, walk me
yes, sir.
through a typical week during the season in terms, when's practice, classes, meals, games, travel, all that kind of stuff. What's a normal week look like?
Yeah. So normal week pretty much for us. We play if we're just looking at varsity, we play 2 games a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays usually. And uh Sundays are pretty much our only day off, especially during the season. During the fall, it's a pretty rigorous time. Um and that's why I tell guys, you gotta love it. Otherwise it might be easy to get burnt out, because we do soccer in school, and it's a lot. So, um, average week during the season, we'll train Monday, Tuesday, play Wednesday. If it's an away game, obviously, just going to depend on the scheduling, but we try to get week games during the evening as much as possible. Um, but then we play Wednesday, Thursday we train again, Friday as well might be a lighter session. Recovery for the guys that play a lot, 90 minutes, 70 plus minutes, we will do kind of more dynamic injury prevention stuff. The guys that maybe aren't getting their game fitness quite yet, we will help make sure that session is tailored for their needs as well. Sometimes we do 6 a.m.s, especially during the spring. We'll have some 6 a.m. trainings, and those are a joy. They build character for sure, even in myself as a coach. So yeah, it's been good though. That's kind of in a nutshell an average week, especially during the fall. One day off is Sunday. Training all the days besides Wednesday and Saturday, and yeah, you'll definitely be busy as a player.
Yeah, for sure. And that was one of my things as a coach. We're not having 6 a.m. practices because I'm not going to be up and moving at 6 a.m. But anyway,
Yeah.
although I did participate in several, you shouldn't be just running until the sun comes up. That's not
Yeah.
very, very, very helpful. Anyway, um, well, let's talk a little bit more about the soccer side of things.
Yeah.
Um, we mentioned you were a GA, now you're assistant coach. Can you tell me more about the staff? What all roles everybody play? What's that look like,
Yeah.
especially with the reserve team?
Yeah, absolutely. So, currently we have a staff of 4 coaches. It's Coach Bruce. He's from Scotland. Awesome guy. He's our head coach, and then myself, and then we have 2 grad assistants. One's kind of a GA slash goalkeeper coach. And As far as the reserve team goes, our GA kind of heads that up, and then obviously I'm there to help support him. Also help support Coach Bruce in varsity as well. Um, and yeah, I think it helps having 4 guys on our staff. We're able to you know help combine all our strengths and be stronger together. So yeah, it's been really good here.
That's great. Well, can you talk to me about the kind of overall the coaching philosophy you guys employ and the style of
Sure.
play that you all guys are looking to play?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, we as far as coaching philosophy goes, you know, and this is one reason I was really fortunate to join Coach Bruce and his coaching staff. He recruits character, I'd say, before anything else. I had a coach like that in college as well, who just really helped shape um the importance of getting the right guys there. So mostly that is at the forefront of everything that we do. Obviously, we're at a Christian college, and as coaches, we do everything through a lens of faith, and so that plays into and that factors in, how we treat our players and kind of establish the values. We are a family mostly, with our team. We have to be. I think, it's that old teamwork makes the dream work thing. We have to come together as a family and as a team. So it's real important for us to establish a unit and not just have individual cliques or anything like that. Or those are very important to make sure that we can gauge. And then yeah, as far as our style of play, we try to be as attacking based as possible, positionally disciplined. So we want to keep possession of the ball as much as possible. we like high fitness guys who are able to get into the attack as well, and also track back on defense. Each position requires focus and discipline. Um, and yeah, we like to build from the back. I'm trying not to share too much about our philosophy here. Any fellow NAIA coaches are gonna see, but yeah, I think mostly we like to have possession of the ball as much as possible, keep the ball on the ground. You know, make sure our guys are staying in the right position. We're trying a few things out next season, which is going to be pretty good with the personnel we have coming in. We try to play the game as beautifully as possible, not just lob it forward and hope for the best. So yeah, it requires, we do a lot of rondos in our team. It's high intensity, high focus sessions, but yeah, that's in a nutshell kind of our style and things like that.
Okay. Well, Coach, you've given us a lot of info, and I appreciate that. And I always like to end these with, what is the one nugget piece of information, something you want any parent, player, or anybody that's looking at college soccer to know as they go through this process?
Yeah, what a great question. So yeah, I'd say, as I mentioned before, I think if you don't have a love and a commitment to improvement and playing the game of soccer, if you don't have a love for it, man, it's collegiate athletics is pretty demanding. You're well aware of that. So it's, I'd say mostly, how serious are they? Are they is it just, yeah, they want to check it off the list because they might get burnt out after a little bit. But the other side of things is, given the fact that most of the college coaches in the country are talking to thousands of players, it is so, I can't stress this enough for future collegiate athletes, for their parents, being on top of things like their FAFSA, reaching out to us, wording a good email. You'd be so surprised how we get guys who email us and it's not even the right college, and and so yeah, just making sure that the details are right. With that, it don't have to be perfect, but just shows a lot, demonstrates a lot about you. And so reaching out to us is would be ideal, I'd say, for whether they want to come to Montreat or they want to go, Pfeiffer or wherever they want to go. I think it sets them apart in a wide number of recruiting class each year, the ones who are willing to put in that extra effort. The other thing I would say is, obviously, a lot of the decisions come down to money. And so there's a plethora of scholarships available out there, for the kids willing to put the work in. Write a simple essay, a 1,000-word essay or something, and maybe they're the only one that does it, but they get an extra $5,000. So there's a lot of resources available out there, for kids, and so yeah. And then, of course, finally, playing collegiate sports helped shape and mold me into the man that I am today, and still becoming. And and so as parents out there, I think there's, considering, it's important, what is the culture of the team, who talk to the coaches as well, ask the hard questions, and so I think that's really important, because they'll be spending a lot of time under these coaches and in this team environment. So yeah, we ultimately, and I hope that every coach on here would have the same. I'm sure they do. By the time they graduate college, hopefully we've added some value to their life, helped them, prepared them for life beyond soccer, whether that's professional or the corporate world or something. So yeah, I'd say, kind of in a nutshell, those are some important final closing remarks I'd have. But thank you so much, Matt, for the privilege of being on here and for the platform, man. You're doing a good job here, and
Well,
I've
I
enjoyed it.
appreciate that, Ryan, and thank you for coming on, sharing all that info about Montreat with us. Really appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck this upcoming fall, and if you ever stretch past Jacksonville down to Bradenton on any of those recruiting visits, let me know,
Yes, sir.
and we'll get together, have a cup of coffee or something. All right?
I'd like that. That sounds
Awesome.
good. Thank
All
you
right.
so much
Thank
for
you,
your
Ryan.
time.
Take care.
Take
All
care.
right.
Bye.